All right, now I'm confused. The Giants might actually seriously be good, but if I've learned my lesson from future years of when I back the Giants in is don't go too hard on backing them in because they can let you down very quickly. Boy, have they looked dangerous the past 2 weeks. And West Coast flex their muscles over the Bombers, showing them why they are up and coming in the competition with some of the young stars, showing some really promising signs as we look towards the future of the Eagles. 2 players that we'll highlight during this episode. But without further ado, let's get into reviewing the rest of round 12. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining as always is your host, Trent the Ultimate. Some of you might know me as Tricky. And yes, this is where we'll review all of the Sunday action from round 12. If you haven't already seen my previous episode that I recorded and released yesterday of the round so far, so I did all the action from Thursday to Saturday night. Make sure you go check that out after this one as well, because we'll only be touching on the 2 Sunday games in this one. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, kicking it off with heading up to Alice Springs for the Demons v. the Giants. And the Giants might actually seriously be good again because, boy, did they look dangerous. Some key players really performing. So 9-16-70, the Bombers defeated by 19-5, 119. So I just moved forward a little bit here in my seat. And by 49 points, my check kick 3 was the only one who showed some really spark in that forward line for the Ds. Didn't get many disposals, but cashed in on the limited disposals he had to convert 2 goals. Green looks like he's back into some really good form in the front half. He kicked 3, as did Brown, and Grzeski without Hogan down there also kicked the 3 goals. Callahan's absolutely in some ripping form. He's the key factor, in my opinion, for this GOS Giants lineup through that midfield. He's the starter. He's the running carry, the meters gained player. Such a powerful athlete. He kicked 2. Thomas is becoming such an elite wingman in the competition. Yes, I said elite because that's the type of performances he's putting in, week out. 24 disposals to go along with 2 goals. Bedford also kicked the 2. If we have a look at disposals, Steele kicked 25 to go on the goal, and he was the only highest disposal getter for the Melbourne. So you can see they were dominating disposal-wise. And then we go ahead to the GWS Giants. We know we can always count on them to bring in plenty of disposals, the Giants. So we started off with Lockie Ash, who had a couple of weeks experimenting in the midfield, but has made his move back to the half-back line where he performs his best footy. 34 disposals, 11 marks, 10 rebound 50s, and 569 metres gained. And we mentioned Callahan being the starter, the real X-factor in the midfield. 31 disposals, but he also went at 97% disposal efficiency. That is unreal. I think 20 of them, I believe it was a ratio of 20 kicks to 11 handballs. So that's unreal. 2 goals, 8 score rolls, and 797 metres gained. Connor Iden, I've said, one of the more underrated defenders in the competition, if not the most underrated. I think he's starting to get some love as the back end of last year and now this season. What do you have? 29 disposals, also went at 97% disposal efficiency, took the 14 marks and had 8 intercepts. Clayton Oliver's having his best season since 2023 on stats-wise, and he again, I think he's averaging just over 32 disposals a game. Against his former side, he had 28 disposals, 2 goal assists, 8 score involvements, and 7 clearances. Whitfield also, back to the side, 26 disposals, going at 86% efficiency, and took the 10 marks. But the disappointing factor for Melbourne, where they thought maybe we should have been in this game or should have had a say in why we won this. They won the inside 50 count by 16. They won it 62-46 and yet went down by 49 points. That's a really, really not promising sign, disappointing sign. If you're winning the inside 50s by that much, yeah, I could understand if you're winning the inside 50s by this much, 16, and going down by maybe 2 goals, a goal, but not by 49 points, 8 goals. Like, seriously, what is going on down there? Like, I know, did Van Rooyen play? Let's have just pull it up. I just want to have a look. Because their key forwards are still going to be one we need to... So Van Rooyen did play, and he's very, very hit and miss. So he had the 1 goal. Only so much Max Gawn can do. 30 hit-outs, 22 disposals. Only so much he can do. But Brody Myercheck kicked the 3, and he was the only one really showing some life down there. Cozzy Pickett missed on some really good on some chances, and he was shut down. I think Bedford was playing a bit of a close watch on him. He was kept rather quiet, but to win it by 16 inside 50s, I know they don't like playing at Alice Springs. Stephen King has said that, and their record at Alice Springs isn't great. I think they've lost the last 3 there. So, but by all means, they'll be going back there again next year, so they need to start getting used to it and start winning some games, because the fun and dangerous Ds have now dropped 2 in a row. I did put this on the radar as this could potentially happen, being because they're such a young side. Could they drop some games? Could they fall away into the second half of the season, and then we see them fall down to where we might have more expected them with the young side they got just outside of wild card, or could they rebound off this one? Because who have they got next week? Have they got the bye next week, or are they playing? So next week obviously will be the King's birthday. So that's a massive game. That's a game that they need to win. So do the Pies really, but Melbourne need to show that they still are fun and dangerous. And if they can get on get out the back of the Collingwood defence, I think they could really run amok. But they're a bit of worrying signs with 2 losses. Not worrying signs, but just disappointing signs, especially when you win the inside 50s count by that. But the Giants, is the Orange Tsunami back? The way they're running numbers off the halfback line, that's why I think Lockie Ash needs to stay at a halfback, because he creates a lot of it. And that's where, if you take him off the halfback line and put him in the middle, you miss that. Finn Callahan's such a key factor. He's probably their one player. He'd be probably their most important player if they lost him to an injury, as they're starting to surge right now, that they wouldn't want to lose, especially with Tom Green already out. But Finn Callahan's that power athlete, runs and carries. If he was to go down, it would be really, really harsh. Brett Daniels has been so important, and he's also spending a bit more midfield time. Let's have a look at Brett Daniels' stats, because he had big stats last week, but spending more midfield time, 18 disposals, laid the 9 tackles, 7 scorer vomits, and also had 4 clearances. So he's been huge. We mentioned Harvey Thomas being one of the elite wingmen now, purely playing as a wingman. 24 disposals, 2 goals, 6 marks, 6 intercepts, 2 goal assists, and 7 scorer vomits. Some really good young players for the GWS Giants. So maybe they'll be okay. But we know what it's like when you show too much faith in the Giants, how they can let you down. But just to wait and see. And the last game of the round, we head out to Optus Stadium between the West Coast Eagles v Essendon, and it was the first time we saw the Bombers under Dean Solomon, and it wasn't to be the interim coach. What's the word? I was going to say curse, but the interim coach trick. Magic or something, well, I don't know, you know what I'm getting at, but just sort of like whenever an interim coach takes in, they either win or they run it close. This was far from that, 30 points the margin. West Coast Eagles were far better than the Bombers on the day, 12-13, 85, defeated 8-7, 55. Waterman and Murdoch kicked 3. Murdoch ran a muck. What a story of Milan Murdoch. He's played a defensive role, bit of a defensive role, and Archie Roberts got under the skin of the players and kicked that opening goal. The kick was absolutely a pearler from the boundary line for the finish on the banana. As for the Bombers, I do like to look at Day Wicks. He kicked the 2 goals, as did Caddy. But I like to look at Archer Day Wicks. I hope Archer Day Wicks can stay in the side for the rest of the season, because I did actually mention it to shout to Connor if you're watching this. But he better be. But I did mention to him last year when he was kicking goals in the VFL. I'm like, surely they bring him in. He goes, I'm not sure. But now he's even said he likes to look at Archer Day Week, so hopefully he can play some bit more consistent footy. As for disposals, Kelly had 28 and 554 metres gained. McCarthy had 26 disposals, going at 96% efficiency, 9 intercepts, 8 marks, and 8 score bombs, and also kicked his first AFL goal. So what a moment it is from Tom McCarthy. Remember the first... was he a number 1 pick, or he was a mid-season pickup for the West Coast Eagles and played straight away coming out of the Southern League. Can't remember what club, might have been even a Springvale or something like that. So it was close to home for me in the Southern League. So he came straight out of that. I just can't remember exactly what club it was. But I was about to say Lockie Young. Tyler Young, obviously their new recruit coming across from Richmond this year, was good. 26 disposals, 8 marks and 8 intercepts. Baker's played purely off half-back and was huge. 25 disposals, 92% efficiency and 9 intercepts. And Dersma has not put a foot wrong in his debut season as that number 1 draft pick. Lived up to all the hype, in my opinion. Has that class and that polish. 25 disposals, a goal, and he had 6 inside 50s as well. Archie Roberts battled hard. 31 disposals, going at 87% efficiency, 10 rebound 50s, 561 metres gained. Merritt also had 28 to go along, a goal, 6 tackles. Parrish had 27, minimal impact though. Sardis back in the side, 26 and 5 clearances, and Setterfield also had 26. But how good could be the duo of Reid and Dersma be for the future of the Eagles? I think this is all the talk about, even especially in his second year, the go-home factor of Harley Reid, but the prospect to play with his housemate, Willem Dersma, for the future is such a persuading factor to keeping Harley Reid and Harley Reid wanting to play at the West Coast Eagles. I think them together is going to be enormous. You got Harley Reid, who's a bull on the inside, explosive out of the stoppage, and he's a goal-kicking midfielder. Then you got Willem Dersma, different to Harley Reid, but he's an outside player, but he's clean, polished, neat, has all the skills, and can also hit the scoreboard. So them working together for the next 5 to 10 years as an Eagles is something as a West Coast Eagles supporter that they should get excited about, because these two could run amok in the future for the West Coast Eagles, in my personal opinion. Harley Reid has Brownlow potential with the way that he plays, and Dersma has, I'm not saying Dersma doesn't have Brownlow potential, but he has that clean polish. I can't even think who a type of player that I'm thinking of, but he's that one you want delivering inside forward 50 to you. You feel safe when he has ball in hands. He doesn't panic, that type of thing. And Harley Reid's goal was absolutely ridiculous when he shrugged off about 2 or 3 players, goes in for the goal of the year contention. While I'm saying that too, I forgot to mention Cozzy Pickett kick goal of the year. Which one did you rather, Harley Reid or Cozzy Pickett's goal? Cozzy Pickett's was just absurd, but what do you expect? Do you expect anything less from a player like Cozzy Pickett? And then Harley Reid's was just brute force, struggling off about 2 or 3 players and snapping it over his head. Absolute phenomenal from those 2 young stars. Ruben Jimby, if he wasn't already confirmed, is a certified dog. Probably one of the biggest biceps going around in the AFL at the moment. He's absolutely huge. And the chest on him. 17 disposals at 94% efficiency, 11 intercepts, 5 marks, and laid the 4 tackles. So he also provides that defensive pressure in the tackling factor. Is now playing, lock down that spot at fullback, taking the opposition's best key defender. And what you're going to get from Ruben Jimmy, and know you'll get, is 120% effort all the time. He might not win it every time, but sure as hell he's going to make it hard for that opposition to take that mark and kick the goal. He's going to make them bloody earn it. That's a given for Ruben Jimmy. I personally think he could have captaincy captaincy leadership qualities. I remember obviously was a very strange that he was down there at Captain's Day for, was it just social media like Channel 7, FC, or they all combined? But Captain's Day, he was the one who represented him. I don't know why that was, but does that show that how much they value his leadership? I'm not sure, but the way he plays gives me leadership values 100%. Archer May also dislocated his shoulder, so disappointing sign for Archer May, as he's really starting to find his feet as that key tool down there for the Bombers. So unfortunately, he'll have a stint on the sideline. Sullivan Roby just continues to keep impressing for the Bombers. So here's a couple of highlights for the Bombers. He had a game-high 9 clearances to go on with 19 disposals. Just to come in as your first year and play with this brute force is absolutely insane. So Sullivan Roby's an absolute lock there. And the other interesting fact that was Dean Solomon has made the changes. He's started playing Ben Mackay as a backup ruck and in forward as a tack. So we actually saw Ben Mackay kick a goal and go into the ruck. So is that a thing that we can see more going forward under Dean Solomon? Or is it just a way they're trying to get Ben Mackay a bit more involved in the game, get his confidence back up, and then they'll put him back as that lockdown key defender? It's just a watch for now, but I don't mind just having a look at this, because he was doing stuff all down in the defence. Let's be honest, he was dropped for a reason. Change up his positions, get him to get the feel of the footy again, get his confidence back, and see where we can go from there. But that's all the review from the round 12 action. Now let's have a look how the ladder sits at the moment as we pull this up right now. So let's go here. The ladder, I've got the ladder up here. So we'll start off with the top 6. Top 6 at the top of the ladder, and one game clear is none other than Fremantle Dockers at the top of the ladder on 44 points. In second place on 40 points is the Sydney Swans. Third place on 34, we got Hawthorn. Fourth place on 32, we got Geelong. Then we got 3 teams on 28. So fifth is the Gold Coast Suns. 6 is Melbourne. Then we go to the bottom 4 of that of the top 10. So then that would be in wildcard weekend. Also on 28 is the Western Bulldogs in 7th. In 8th place, 24 is the Adelaide Crows. 9th is Brisbane, and 10th is WS Giants. Being just pushed out of the wildcard weekend. Wildcard spot is Collingwood, who are in 11th on 22 points. St Kilda in 12th on 20. The Kangas in 13th, also on 20. The Blues are shot up to 16th. To 14th on 16 points. West Coast Eagles in 15th, also on 16. Port Adelaide in 16th. Richmond in 17th. And Essendon in 18th position. So that's how the ladder looks after round 12, and that's all the review of the action as well. Thank you guys for watching and listening along. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on so you notify whenever we upload. We finally did it. You saw me talking about it. We wanted to get 400 subscribers by the end of the season. We finally did it. So thank you guys to get me to that mark. If you listen to this via Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a like and comment on this episode. Hit that notification bell so you notify whenever we upload. Also hit that follow button, share this off to a mate, and leave a 5-star rating on the show if you do enjoy the show. That does help push the show out there to newer listeners. If you want to see all the clips of the show or me talk absolute dribble about footy, because who doesn't love that as a footy fan, make sure you're following our socials at @UpTheGuts_ on Instagram and TikTok. Also on Facebook, just search up the Guts and we'll be the top option there. Thank you guys for listening and watching along. Until next time, I'll see you guys then.